In this lesson, I want to talk to you about something called named ranges. So, as the term implies, we are going to name or label a range. And why do we want to do that? Well, you're going to see it's going to be a little more conversational inside your formulas. It's going to help you select things a lot faster and also apply them into formulas. So the first thing we're going to do is actually create a named range. So if you see here, I have this range of data. Very simply, I'm going to highlight it, go over here in the upper left to what's called my name box, and I'm just going to very simply type out the name that I want to call it. Just understand that there cannot be any spaces inside of name ranges. I'm just going to go ahead and hit enter. And now if I click on my little drop down, you'll notice here I have one called Pony. I have another one that we're going to talk about in another lesson, so just hang tight on that one. But you can see there is Pony. I'll go ahead and do the other one. I'll do these relatively quickly. I'll go ahead and apply these other ones a little faster. Hit enter. Hit enter, and now I should have these additional, Dave, Pony, and Rabbit. Now let's go ahead and see them in action. Well, I want to add all of these up. So all I'm going to do very simply is go over to here to add up Pony, and then I'm going to put a formula in there, so equal sign sum. And now you'll see that there, and then all I need to do now is just simply type out PON, and notice what pops right up, because it's now configured to have that named range in there. And then I'm going to hit the tab key as soon as that lights up, and then very easily hit enter. Boom, beautiful, and you can see it is now summing up Pony. So you can see how nice and conversational that is. I'll go ahead and do the next two rather quickly. Boom. And I'm done. And again, everybody can now see what I am summing up. Let's go ahead and talk about some other things within named ranges. So earlier we talked about the fact that we can see our name ranges here, but if I click on the Formulas tab, you'll notice that there's a Name Manager option right there. When I click on that, you're going to see there is Dave, Pony, and Rabbit, as well as this employee info, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. So if you ever wanted to delete them or edit them or do anything else, you can do that right from this dialog box. So now let's go ahead and see how we can create name ranges in a nice, fast, and easy way. So if I go over here to Regions Product, and I come back over to here to this Define Names group, now what I'd like to do is create names from the selection. So very simply, all I do is highlight all my data with their respective column headings, and then say Create from Selection, and then notice how top row is automatically selected. I click OK, and I go over here to my name box, and just like that, magically it's been added. And then the same thing I'm going to do for my rows, highlight that, create from selection, and then notice that left column is now selected, and then boom, beautiful. Let's go ahead and test it out. Let's go ahead and do Bayleaf, and now notice how it's highlighted all the data. Now let's go ahead and see it in action in a little more complicated formula. I'm going to show you a little bit of a VLOOKUP formula so we can see how it can be used in many, many contexts. So if I click on my little drop down here, you're going to see EmpInfo is all this data here. I've got a lot of problems highlighting this data. People forget some of the data and everything. Because I have this as a named range, it's going to make it very easy for me to now put it into a formula. And also, when I look at this formula, you can see it's just sandwiched right in there for my table array as EmpInfo rather than A10 all the way through F45 or whatever it's going to be. Okay, beautiful. So let's go ahead and just see how this looks. So if you're not familiar with how VLOOKUPs work, you can see I'm going to go and look up E001, and then notice how it's looking up the name, and you can see there is Malcolm. So I'm very simply now going to type out this formula using a named range. So just watch me as I type it out. And then my lookup value is just simply this. And now my table array, normally I'd have to highlight all this data, but now I'm going to do very simply just type out EMP, pops right up, I hit the tab key, and now my column index number is just going to be 5 because it's the 5th column, meaning department, and I'll type out false, and then close it out, and then beautiful, you see that Malcolm is in fact inside of Human Resources, and that can save you a ton of time. So once again, named ranges are a tremendous tool for working with formulas, also for identifying data, selecting data, and so much more.